Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to you about a truth that many avoid, but everyone must embrace the power of personal growth through failure. Failure is not your enemy. It is not a sign that you are weak or that you are losing your way. No, failure is one of the most powerful teachers you will ever encounter in life. Failure is an essential teacher, a truth that is often misunderstood in our society where success is glorified and failure is feared. Yet, failure holds a unique power to reveal truths about ourselves and our paths that success simply cannot. When we fail, we are given an opportunity to learn lessons that are crucial for growth, lessons that no textbook or mentor can fully teach us. Failure exposes our weaknesses, mistakes, and missteps, but more importantly, it highlights areas where improvement is necessary. It is through this honest evaluation that we gain clarity about our goals, our methods, and sometimes even our true desires. Many people see failure as a stopping point, a mark of defeat that signals they should quit or retreat. But failure is not an end, it is a process. It functions like a mirror, reflecting back to us what we need to understand if we are to move forward more wisely. When you fail, you are forced to confront the reality of your situation. This confrontation can be uncomfortable, but it is essential because it awakens awareness. Without this awareness, growth is superficial and unsustainable. Failure also teaches humility. It strips away pride and the illusion of perfection, reminding us that we are human and that mastery requires time and effort. This humility is not about diminishing your worth, but about opening your heart and mind to learning. It allows you to receive feedback, adapt your approach, and embrace the journey of improvement. Without the lessons of failure, we risk becoming rigid, closed off, or complacent in our beliefs and actions. Another important aspect of failure as a teacher is that it encourages innovation. When a particular approach fails, you are prompted to think differently, to explore new strategies, and to be creative in overcoming obstacles. Failure pushes you out of your comfort zone and forces you to develop problem-solving skills that are critical for long-term success. These skills not only help you overcome the immediate setback, but also prepare you for future challenges. Moreover, failure deepens your resilience. Each time you encounter failure and choose to learn from it, rather than give up, you build inner strength. You develop a mindset that views failure not as a threat, but as a stepping stone. This resilience empowers you to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead seems difficult or uncertain. In essence, failure is a powerful teacher because it demands active participation in your own growth. It requires you to be honest with yourself, to analyze your experiences, and to take responsibility for your progress. This process transforms failure from a negative event into a positive force that shapes your character and refines your purpose. To embrace failure as a teacher means to shift your perspective from fear and avoidance to curiosity and courage. It means recognizing that each failure is an invitation to learn something valuable, to improve, and to become the person you are meant to be. When you accept failure in this way, you unlock its true potential, not as a barrier, but as a vital part of your journey toward excellence and fulfillment. Failure builds resilience, and this is one of the most profound benefits that setbacks bring into our lives. Resilience is not something we are born with. It is a quality developed through experience, challenge, and response. Every time you face failure and refuse to be defeated by it, you strengthen your ability to endure adversity and bounce back with greater determination. Resilience is the muscle of the spirit, and failure is the weight that helps it grow stronger. When failure occurs, it often brings feelings of disappointment, frustration, and sometimes even despair. But how you respond to these emotions determines whether failure becomes a stepping stone or a stumbling block. Those who view failure as the final verdict remain stuck, while those who see it as an opportunity to grow develop the mental and emotional toughness necessary for success. This toughness, resilience, enables you to keep moving forward even when the path is difficult and the obstacles seem overwhelming. Resilience born from failure also teaches patience. Success rarely comes overnight. It often requires enduring periods of hardship and uncertainty. When you encounter failure, you learn that setbacks are temporary and that persistence is essential. This patience keeps you steady, preventing impulsive decisions or giving up prematurely. You begin to understand that every setback is part of a larger process, one that gradually shapes you into a stronger, wiser, and more capable individual. Furthermore, failure reshapes your perspective on challenges. Instead of fearing difficulty, you start to see it as a natural part of growth. Resilience allows you to approach obstacles with a problem-solving mindset rather than panic or avoidance. You become adaptable, learning to adjust your strategies and approaches without losing sight of your goals. This flexibility is crucial because life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and the ability to recover quickly from failure keeps you on the path towards success. Another important aspect of resilience built through failure is the development of confidence. Each time you face failure and rise again, you prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming difficulties. This self-assurance fuels your motivation and courage, empowering you to take on greater challenges without fear. Resilience is not the absence of fear or failure. It is the conviction that you can withstand and grow from these experiences. Failure also builds emotional strength by teaching you to manage disappointment and regulate your reactions. When you develop resilience, you no longer allow failure to define your worth or dictate your future. Instead, you maintain a positive outlook and keep your focus on the possibilities ahead. This emotional stability is vital for long-term growth and success. Ultimately, resilience forged through failure is what sustains you in your journey. It is the invisible force that keeps you standing when everything around you seems to be falling apart. It transforms failure from a source of defeat into a source of power. The more you embrace failure as an opportunity to build resilience, the more prepared you become to face whatever challenges life presents. In learning to welcome failure and grow resilient through it, you equip yourself with one of the most important keys to success, not just in your goals, but in your character and life as a whole. Resilience ensures that failure will never have the final say. Instead, it becomes a chapter in your story of triumph. Failure has a remarkable way of clarifying purpose. When setbacks come, they often force you to pause and reflect deeply on what truly matters to you. In the hustle of pursuing goals and ambitions, it's easy to get caught up in external expectations, distractions, or the pressure to achieve quickly. But failure slows you down, compelling you to reassess your direction and your motivation. This reflection is crucial because it helps you distinguish between what you want because it's popular or expected, and what you genuinely desire because it aligns with your values and purpose. When you experience failure, you are given a moment of honesty, a chance to ask yourself hard questions. Why am I doing this? What am I really after? Is this path leading me toward fulfillment or just temporary success? Sometimes the answers that emerge from this introspection can be surprising. You may realize that what you thought you wanted no longer resonates with your heart. Or you might discover a deeper calling that was obscured by previous distractions. Failure acts like a filter that clears away illusions, making your vision sharper and your purpose more authentic. This process of clarification is not just intellectual, it is transformational. Purpose is not something you simply decide. It is something you come to understand and embody over time. Failure pushes you toward that understanding by challenging your assumptions and revealing your true priorities. It strips away superficial goals and reveals the core of what motivates and inspires you. This clarity of purpose becomes a powerful compass that guides your decisions and energizes your efforts. Furthermore, failure refines your purpose by teaching you what works and what doesn't. It provides feedback that helps you adjust your course with greater precision. When your initial approach fails, it doesn't mean your purpose is wrong. It often means your strategy needs improvement. This distinction is vital because it keeps you connected to your deeper why. Even as you change your how, each failure becomes a lesson that directs you closer to your intended destination. Another significant benefit of failure in clarifying purpose is that it builds commitment. When your purpose becomes clear through the experience of failure, you develop a stronger determination to pursue it despite obstacles. Clarity strengthens resolve. It fuels passion. Knowing why you are doing something gives you the endurance to face difficulties without losing heart. Your purpose becomes a source of motivation that is not dependent on external success or approval. In addition, failure teaches humility, reminding you that purpose is a journey, not a destination. Sometimes failure shows you that you still have more to learn, more growth to experience before you can fully realize your purpose. This humility opens the door for continual improvement and lifelong learning. It prevents complacency and encourages you to keep evolving. Ultimately, failure is a gift in the process of discovering and living your purpose. It sharpens your focus, deepens your understanding, and strengthens your commitment. Without failure, your purpose might remain vague or untested. But with failure, your purpose becomes clearer, more authentic, and more powerful. It becomes the light that guides you through challenges toward the fulfillment you were meant to achieve. Failure encourages humility and self-awareness, two qualities that are essential for genuine personal growth. When things do not go as planned and efforts end in disappointment, it naturally challenges our sense of pride and confidence. This experience can be humbling, but it is in that humility that profound learning takes place. Failure strips away the illusions of invincibility and forces us to confront our limitations honestly. It is a moment when the ego is softened, allowing a clearer, more accurate view of ourselves to emerge. Humility gained through failure is not about feeling small or worthless. Instead, it is about recognizing that we are human, imperfect, learning, and continually evolving. This acknowledgement is liberating because it frees us from the pressure to be perfect or to always have all the answers. It opens the door to growth by making us more receptive to feedback, correction, and guidance. When pride is set aside, we become teachable. We listen more carefully, reflect more deeply, and adapt more readily. Alongside humility, failure fosters self-awareness, the ability to look inward and understand our thoughts, emotions, strengths, and weaknesses with clarity and honesty. Self-awareness is critical because it forms the foundation of intentional growth. Without knowing who we truly are and how we respond to challenges, we cannot make meaningful changes. Failure acts like a spotlight, illuminating areas that need attention. It reveals not only what we lack, but also what we do well, giving us a balanced understanding of ourselves. This heightened self-awareness helps break down denial and self-deception. When success comes easily, it can be tempting to ignore flaws or avoid uncomfortable truths. Failure, however, demands that we face reality. It encourages introspection, asking questions such as, why did I fail? What role did my decisions or attitudes play? Where do I need to improve? These questions promote a level of honesty that is necessary for growth and transformation. Moreover, humility and self-awareness cultivated by failure lead to greater emotional intelligence. When we are aware of our feelings and reactions, we can manage them more effectively. Failure can stir up emotions like frustration, shame, or fear, but with self-awareness, we learn to respond constructively rather than react impulsively. This emotional regulation strengthens resilience and helps maintain focus on growth rather than getting stuck in negative emotions. Importantly, failure humbles us by reminding us that growth is a lifelong journey. It dispels the myth of quick fixes or instant success. Humility teaches patience and persistence because it acknowledges that mastery requires time and effort. This mindset encourages us to embrace challenges as opportunities to learn rather than threats to our identity. In embracing failure as a source of humility and self-awareness, we unlock a deeper level of personal development. We become more grounded, more authentic, and more open to growth. Failure breaks down the barriers of pride and denial, allowing us to rebuild ourselves on a foundation of truth and understanding. This transformation is essential for achieving lasting success and fulfillment, for it is only when we truly know ourselves and accept our imperfections that we can move forward with confidence and purpose. Failure is a powerful catalyst for developing problem-solving skills, a fact that is often overlooked in our desire to avoid setbacks and discomfort. When you encounter failure, the immediate response may be frustration or discouragement, but embedded within that experience is a critical opportunity to sharpen your ability to analyze, adapt, and innovate. Failure forces you to confront challenges head-on, requiring you to find new ways to overcome obstacles that previously hindered your progress. One of the most important lessons failure teaches is the necessity of creative thinking. When familiar approaches don't yield success, you are pushed to think outside the box. This often means exploring untested ideas, experimenting with different strategies, and embracing a mindset that welcomes trial and error. Instead of relying on what has worked before, failure encourages you to be inventive, to see problems not as roadblocks, but as puzzles waiting to be solved. This creativity nurtured by failure is invaluable because life and work rarely follow a straight path. The ability to innovate in the face of adversity distinguishes those who persist from those who give up. Failure also enhances critical thinking. It demands careful evaluation of what went wrong and why. This involves dissecting your actions, decisions, and the external circumstances that contributed to the outcome. Such analysis is essential for making informed adjustments and avoiding repeated mistakes. The process of critical reflection develops your ability to assess situations objectively, identify root causes, and formulate effective solutions. Over time, this rigorous mental discipline becomes second nature, enabling you to navigate complex problems with greater confidence and clarity. Moreover, failure fosters a proactive mindset. Instead of waiting for success to happen or hoping that problems will resolve themselves, you learn to take initiative. When you fail, you recognize that waiting passively is not an option. You must actively seek alternatives, gather information, and test new methods. This proactive approach transforms you into a problem solver who anticipates challenges and responds promptly rather than reacting belatedly. It builds a habit of continuous improvement and forward momentum. Another benefit of developing problem-solving skills through failure is increased adaptability. Failure often exposes how rigid or limited your previous approaches were. It teaches you the importance of flexibility, the ability to pivot, revise plans, and try different tactics when circumstances change. This adaptability is crucial not only for overcoming immediate setbacks, but also for thriving in an ever-changing world. The experience of navigating failure equips you with the mental agility needed to adjust course without losing sight of your ultimate goals. Importantly, problem-solving skills built through failure contribute to greater self-reliance. When you learn to tackle challenges independently, you build confidence in your own abilities. You become less dependent on others to provide solutions and more capable of generating answers yourself. This empowerment fuels resilience and perseverance, enabling you to face future difficulties with a stronger sense of control. In summary, failure is not merely a negative event to be avoided. It is a vital learning experience that cultivates essential problem-solving skills. Through failure, you develop creativity, critical thinking, proactivity, adaptability, and self-reliance, qualities that empower you to overcome obstacles and pursue your goals with greater wisdom and effectiveness. By embracing failure as a teacher, you transform setbacks into stepping stones on the path to success. Failure prepares you for success in ways that are often invisible until you reflect on the journey. When success comes easily, it can sometimes catch us unprepared, leaving us overwhelmed or ill-equipped to handle the responsibilities and challenges that accompany achievement. Failure, however, serves as a crucial training ground that shapes not only what we achieve, but who we become in the process. It conditions the mind and spirit to face success with humility, wisdom, and endurance. One of the primary ways failure prepares you for success is by teaching patience. Success is rarely instantaneous. It is often the result of persistent effort over time. When you have experienced failure, you understand that setbacks are part of the process, and this understanding cultivates patience. Instead of expecting immediate rewards, you develop the ability to endure periods of struggle and uncertainty. This patience helps you avoid frustration or rash decisions when progress seems slow, keeping you steady on your path. Failure also builds resilience, which is essential for sustaining success. The path to success is rarely smooth. There will be new challenges, criticisms, and obstacles even after you achieve your goals. Resilience developed through previous failures enables you to withstand these difficulties without losing focus or motivation. It equips you to handle pressure, setbacks, and disappointments with composure, ensuring that success is not fleeting but lasting. Another important aspect is that failure fosters humility. Success achieved without prior struggle can sometimes inflate the ego and create a false sense of invincibility. But when success follows failure, it reminds you of your humanity and the effort it took to get there. This humility helps you stay grounded, appreciate your accomplishments without arrogance, and remain open to learning and growth. It also makes you more empathetic toward others who face difficulties, enhancing your leadership and interpersonal relationships. Failure prepares you for success by sharpening your problem-solving abilities. The lessons learned through overcoming setbacks teach you how to navigate complexity and uncertainty. These skills are invaluable when you reach higher levels of achievement where challenges become more complex and stakes are higher. The experience of having tackled failure equips you with the confidence and insight to make sound decisions and innovate under pressure. Moreover, failure encourages a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. This mindset is critical for sustained success because it keeps you striving for improvement rather than becoming complacent. When you have faced failure, you are more likely to view success as a continuous journey rather than a final destination. This perspective motivates you to keep pushing boundaries and expanding your potential. Finally, failure prepares you emotionally and mentally for success. It conditions your mind to handle both victory and its accompanying responsibilities with grace. Success can bring new stresses, expectations from others, fear of losing what you have gained, and the challenge of maintaining performance. Having experienced failure, you develop emotional strength and self-awareness that help you manage these pressures. You become better equipped to celebrate success without losing yourself or your focus. In essence, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a vital part of the preparation for it. It builds patience, resilience, humility, problem-solving skills, a growth mindset, and emotional strength, qualities that form the foundation of true and lasting success. By embracing failure as a necessary teacher, you equip yourself not only to achieve success, but to sustain and grow it throughout your life. Failure ultimately leads to success by shaping character and deepening wisdom, qualities that are indispensable for lasting achievement. When we consider success, we often focus on outcomes like wealth, status, or recognition. But true success is far more profound. It is the result of the transformation that occurs within us as we journey through challenges and setbacks. Failure acts as the crucible in which this transformation takes place, refining our character and enriching our understanding of life and our purpose. One of the most significant ways failure leads to success is by teaching perseverance. The road to any meaningful achievement is rarely smooth, and failure is almost always part of that journey. Each time you encounter failure, you are faced with a choice to give up or to press on. Choosing to persist despite difficulties builds endurance and grit, qualities that separate those who ultimately succeed from those who abandon their dreams. Perseverance gained through failure becomes a habit, a steadfast commitment to your vision that carries you forward even when circumstances are unfavorable. Failure also cultivates humility, which is essential for growth and long-term success. When you fail, you are reminded of your limitations and the need to remain teachable. This humility softens arrogance and opens the door to learning from others, adapting your approach and evolving your mindset. Without humility, success can breed complacency or blind confidence. But with humility, it becomes a platform for continuous improvement. Moreover, failure expands your wisdom by providing real life lessons that no theory or advice can fully convey. Success without failure can leave you unprepared for future challenges, but failure offers a deeper understanding of yourself, your strengths, and your weaknesses. It teaches you about timing, patience, the importance of hard work, and the value of resilience. This wisdom becomes a guiding light, helping you make better decisions and avoid repeating past mistakes. Another vital aspect is that failure helps you develop empathy and compassion. Experiencing setbacks makes you more sensitive to the struggles of others. This empathy enhances your relationships, leadership, and ability to inspire and support those around you. Success that is built on character and emotional intelligence is far more sustainable and fulfilling than success based solely on external achievements. Failure also sharpens your focus and clarifies your goals. When faced with disappointment, you are often forced to reevaluate what truly matters to you. This process of reflection and refocus helps you align your efforts with your core values and long-term vision. Success attained with clear purpose is more meaningful and satisfying. Importantly, failure strengthens your faith in yourself and your journey. Each failure you overcome affirms your capacity to handle adversity and grow stronger. This self-belief is critical because it fuels your motivation and courage to take risks, innovate, and pursue your dreams with conviction. Ultimately, failure leads to success because it transforms you into a person who is not just capable of achieving goals, but who is prepared to handle the responsibilities, challenges, and growth that come with success. It molds your character, deepens your wisdom, and nurtures the qualities necessary for a fulfilling and enduring success story. Embracing failure is embracing the path to becoming your best self and realizing the fullest expression of your potential.